Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Vlogging on the Go. And here I'm going back to another school from my past in my educational journey, and here I'm in front of Cappy Smart School, and actually my home neighborhood of Marlborough Park. I eventually did come here to Cappy Smart School to close out my elementary school days. Definitely had a much longer elementary school days than anticipated, but as you see with my other videos, that I started off in St. School, and then I went to James Short Memorial, and then I went to Dr. Oakley School, and this is the school I went to after my 3 years at Dr. Oakley. And I would say coming here first, I was a little iffy on the idea, because I remember I was old enough thinking I should be going to junior high, but with my learning disability, it was decided that I wasn't quite ready yet. So I went here to Cappy Smart School for 1 year, from 1994-95 school year, in September 1994 till June 1995. And actually, as it turned out, I actually enjoyed my 1 year here a lot more than I anticipated. So I'll just do my usual walk around. But so yeah, I eventually went to Cappy Smart School. Kind of say maybe I had my wish 4 years later, because I remember thinking I wanted to come here after James Short, because this is the closest school where I lived, in Marlborough Park. And a couple things that were foreign to me that is normal to childhood students, being close to home, and this thing called going home for lunch. That was foreign to me, because I had long bus rides throughout my educational journey in elementary with learning disability. But eventually the plan was that I was going to come here. You could say this was a transitional year before getting ready to go to junior high, which is at Dr. Egbert's, which I'll do after this. But I'm going to say this school, you could probably also say, looking back, this is the newest school that I attended. I think this is the newest school in terms of the date of the school, because I last video did St. which is the oldest school I went to. I think this is the newest one. I'm not too sure the exact date, because the community of Marlborough Park, where I grew up, was, started being developed in the mid to late 1970s. I think this school was built in the late 1970s, because eventually what happened was I was in the split class. I was in grades 5, 6 split class to start off, to transition me, got into the regular journey. And then towards the end of my time here, I got put into a full-time grade 6 class, because the plan was that I was going to junior high after. And yeah, you could kind of see this greenery here. I think this was not here, or it was a lot younger, and we were talking about 1994 in the fall when I first came here. But speaking of my first class that I was here, got that split 5, 6. Well, if you've been around here, there's only one set of portables. The second set of portables, I was in that for a few classes, including the other grade 6 class. That's not there anymore. And actually, I looked on the CB website. This school has changed where now it's K to 5. At the time when I was coming here, it was K to 6. And I guess you would say, if I had a normal educational journey, the fact that I've always lived here in Marlborough Park, I guess I would have been coming here for 6, 7 years, but I didn't. And in some way, it kind of gave me a more interesting perspective, because I got to see more of the city growing up. But you could say this has changed. I remember there were 2 sets of portables here when I was coming here, and all the years just being in the neighborhood. I know my sister went here for all her elementary school days, but she took a different journey than I did, not because of learning disability, but the fact she tried French immersion. I guess that's another thing that I missed out on, and that probably might have been a good thing. I never actually took French classes. I probably would have gotten beaten up in French class too, because English was my weakness. But yeah, I could see right where you see all this playground here, that portable used to be here when I was going to school. And then on the other side, that's where eventually I had my full grade 6 class, and that's where eventually I made some connections. I was aware of some of them, but never really fully connected with them because I was not going to school here for obvious reasons, but that might explain, if you're watching this, wondering why you didn't know much about me until after starting grade 6 in here, because I've always was in the neighborhood, but just never went to school here. But I ultimately enjoyed my 1 year coming here after being so about wanting to come here, because I was almost thinking I was getting to the stage that I might have been too ripe for elementary school. But I ultimately enjoyed my 1 year here, as I said. You can see this playground looks a little different. And another thing I've noticed revisiting my schools, that you kind of see, you know, more picnic tables, more gathering spots. But other than that, this school looks the same on the outside. And another thing that stood out with me, and I guess being that I'm in the engineering and planning industry, is that a lot of schools look the same when they were built at the same time. Well, even I went to James Short, and then this was always the neighborhood school I was closest to. I mean, the other school that I could have went to, and I think I might have almost went there after my James Short days, was Roland Michener, which is also in this neighborhood, but also went to Dr. Oakley. But this school looks exactly like GW Skeen, right near James Short. Probably was built and designed by the same firm at the time, but I think this school was built in the late 1970s, early 1980s, because I know the teacher that I had when I was in the grade 6 class, I liked her. I know that I was stronger in math through my learning disability, that I always remembered that in the background when I was still in that split class, I remember writing poetry I sent it to the grade 6 class, as I eventually went in for the rest of my time here, that to borrow the answer key to go over my work. So I remember that. And I also remember when I was coming here, actually I was a patrol, the crossing guard. I did that, so I was somewhat involved in the community. And I know that they had like a big party at the end of the year, I think, of the patrols at Heritage Park. And then another thing I remember, I mean, this was my only 1 year here, that I mean, even when I left Dr. Oakley in here, that there was a farewell ceremony, except that the farewell was more internal at Dr. Oakley. But I went to the farewell, part of the farewell ceremony when I was leaving here to go to Dr. Egbert. But I know some students, they were a lot more sadder that they were leaving here to go, most went to Dr. Egbert. I mean, if I know my sister, for example, went to Bob Edwards in Marlborough. This is Marlborough Park for French immersion. But I guess, if you've been here for 6-7 years, that's something I can't relate to. I've never been to a school that long, that students were sad about leaving here. I enjoyed my 1 year here. I was happy that eventually my elementary school days were done. I mean, eventually I had to get thrown into the wolves and move on into the school journey. And I definitely will have a lot to say when I get to Dr. Egbert, but I do remember enjoying my 1 year here. I have some moments I felt I was too ripe, but on the other hand, it was kind of the right transition, especially when I went to the grade 6 class. And the name might familiar, Cappy Smart, because he is most notably known as a firefighter. He definitely was part of the Calgary Fire Department, especially in the late 1800s and early 1900s. He was on the fire department. I know when the big fire that happened here in 1886. But if you go back to my Corral demolition videos, when their mural that's long gone, that is the same Cappy Smart that's on there. He was also famous for leading the Stampede Parade, Marshal. So that's the same Cappy Smart. I know his real name is James. I think that's his middle name, James Smart. But that's what the gist of that is with Cappy Smart. So yeah, I'm back to the front door. I mean, the school is definitely a little smaller because of one less portable. But before I close out, I think I'll have to do a different view, because you kind of saw that steep hill that was definitely popular for kids during the winter for tobogganing. You kind of get a nice view of the school overhead. So I'm going to go up there to close out this part of the video. As I say, ultimately, I remember I was about coming here for the 1 year, because I think I also enjoyed my time at Dr. Oakley, and my heart said I wanted to go to junior high but I decided, and probably looking back, it was the right decision that I went here for one more year in elementary school for going to junior high. But definitely it was a transition year, and like I say, I enjoyed my 1 year here. But I'll go up on the hill and reflect on more memories up there. Well, I'm back on the back of Cappy Smart School, and this is the view of top of the hill. Go imagine if you're a little kid in the winter time. Definitely could have been a thrill to toboggan down here. I definitely didn't have the guts to do that time, and I was, given that I spent an extra year in elementary school, I was a little bigger than some of the kids, especially it was K to 6, but this is kind of a nice view, and it's a somewhat steep hill. I mean, definitely feels a lot steeper when you're a kid, but this is just a view of on top of the hill at Cappy Smart School, and you just kind of pan around and get a gist of my childhood neighborhood in Marlborough Park. I mean, I do remember recesses up here. I think I remember we did some school activities up here. I mean, we're talking about 27 years ago, 27 years ago that I went to school here. And I also do remember towards the end of the year that if you walk inside the school, I'm sure it's still there, but I also remember one time towards the end of the year, they gathered the whole school population, and I think it was around here, that they took a picture of all of us in the school, that there was a photographer on top of the school. So you can maybe find me within the crowd for 1994, 1995. But yeah, I say I was a little so-so about wanting to come here at the time when I was moving out of Dr. Oakley. I think it was a fairly tough decision. I think I remember it was either stay the same at Dr. Oakley or gradually fill in the gaps and come here. Eventually I knew that I had to swallow my pride and come here for a year, knowing that it was going to be an extra year of school, but I think it was worth it. I definitely felt that I was filling in the gaps. I mean, it was a nice transition from special education to the, I guess you could say, regular stream. I know there was a individualized program plan and a few things in the background, but at that time I just kind of swept it under the rug that I had a learning disability, but I'm more open to it now. But I hate to say, I enjoyed my 1 year here. It was a great 1 year. I definitely learned some more lessons in life and childhood. I know that when I was moving into the grade 6 class, I do remember I had a choice between two teachers. There were two grade 6 classes. I had more connection with the one that I eventually went to, but the other class, I kind of was iffy with his teaching style. I remember it was a male teacher, and I'm gonna leave the names out for the purpose of the video, but I kind of didn't like his teaching style. He would say it was to prepare you for junior high. Maybe it was old school. Maybe that's how he was prepared to go to junior high, but I just remember it was hard to learn in that class, writing nothing but notes, and he had boards and boards of notes. Although outside the classroom, I hear he's a great guy. And actually what's also interesting is that my mother, she was a teaching assistant. She also went here as a teaching assistant and kind of got, gossip with some teachers, I guess you could say. Or, of course, they wanted to know how I was doing, knowing that I was, son that, the teacher that I had at first, and I came here. She always made a big deal when I was here, but I liked her. And then seeing another teacher, but there was another teacher in grade 5 I remembered. oh boy, she was definitely a biatch. And I didn't want to say that time, but then when my mother went here and she realized, oh boy, the best way to describe her, she was definitely, always, I guess you could say mean. She looked like someone that smoked a lot, drank a lot of coffee, so you get the really bad breath. But I remember when I was in the grade 6 class, there was that room divider. I remember times that she was yelling at students. I was like, oh boy. I don't think too many students labeled her as a special teacher, but for the most part, I enjoyed my 1 year here, and I guess I also learned what boys and girls, what they're meant for. I just didn't realize that until I came here, and there was definitely some students that was here in grade 6. I wondered, where the heck did you go? I didn't see you in, junior high and high school, but that's all I have for Cappy Smart. I enjoyed my 1 year here. It's named after the name guy that I was on the corral. I was big in the fire department. I know that Sparky the dog was kind of the motto or the mascot for this school, but it's pan around. This is Marlborough Park, my home community. It's on Madigan Drive. This was the closest school that I always was aware of it because I lived in the neighborhood, but I didn't come here until 1994-95. It probably was the reason why you didn't know much about me. There's a nice view of the green shrubbery. So I'm going to take some pictures and close out. As I say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel. Recapping games, stories, but I also do personal vlogs, attempt to comedy, share my experience. Say I'm on the road. I'm a sporting man. I've been doing this vlogging on the go, and definitely been fun and interesting to look back on my schools from the past, seeing how much schools have changed, and just opening up more, sharing that I have a learning disability, but this is where my elementary journey ended. I was in the regular stream for junior high, which I'll be going over to Dr. Egbert to share there, and definitely got a lot of things to say, both good and bad, when I was there, because let's just say a lot of things happen when you're a teenager. So I say, if that all sounds like be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, too, just to make sure you hit like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below, so I just want to say thanks for watching, and if you went to school here or going to school here, what memories do you have? I mean, I enjoyed my 1 year. I definitely was a little so about coming here just for the reasons why, but I enjoyed my 1 year here. I went to, I was across guard patrols, and I think I just also enjoyed my time at Dr. Oakley so much that this also got me out of my comfort zone, and it was a transitional year for the rest of my school journey. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.